Hey everyone, welcome back to another WWE 2K22 modding tutorial. Today we're going to actually be doing the character modding side of things, and I'm going to be showing you how to port 2K19 over to 2K22. Now of course, rule number 1, now this is an important one, never ever port someone's character without their permission. I mean that, like, if you're going to port someone's character over to 22, doesn't matter if you're doing it and you think it's nice, it's not okay to do it without their permission, so please always look at their Twitter, at their Discord, whatever they have attached, and message them and ask for the correct permission to port it over. And never claim it as your own too. Do never claim these as your own. That's just a big asshole move. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. All the resources that you will need, aka all the applications that you need for this, will be in the description below, as well as the PWM Discord, where you are also going to need a couple things. So we're gonna need the hex editor. We're going to need Reshape, we're going to need Arc, and we're going to need Blender, of course. I recommend using 3.1 because anything higher than that will result in crashing from the MDL script that you need for Blender. So, of course, the MDL script, that is also linked in the description. To apply that to your Blender, you're going to go over here in your project, you're going to go to Edit, Preferences, Install, and then you're just going to click Install on the zip file. Don't unzip it, and then your plugin should be there. And also a couple more things. Make sure that the person that you are doing, try to at least get them as the same height. I'd recommend looking up the person that you're porting over, and then the person in the game that you're replacing, their height, make sure it matches up. And then also, if you are porting somebody over from 19 to 22 that has hair, make sure that you get a skeleton, a 2K22 skeleton, or somebody that matches that hair roughly, in order to get the hair animations. So yeah, let's get started. For this example, I'm going to be using Breezes's Sean Spears pack, or his character mod. Now I'm doing this without permission. I am just using it as an example. I'm not going to publish this out of respect for Breezes and hoping that he's going to port it over. I'll see if I'm able to get permission later, so that I could actually put some hard work into it and you know, port it over myself. But again, always ask permission, never do it without the original creator's permission. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So of course, if you're going to be porting over for whatever, it's going to come in a dot pack. To open up the dot pack, you're going to need Arc, and you're going to go to File, Open Archive, Pack, and then you are going to click the dot pack, and it's going to open up a file that looks something like this. And you're going to get the 000, and then you're going to export as decompressed archive. Go to downloads and then save it there. I already have it saved, so I'm not going to do it again. But then now that you've done that, you're going to head over to Reshape, also link in the description. Go to File, Open Model File, and then you're going to select 000YOBJ. And then you're going to grab objects 0 through, like, I think it's 12. 0 through 12, these are all the body parts. And then the eyes, because you're going to need those. And then also get 16, because that is the caruncles, I think that's what it's called. 14 and 15 you don't need, and then these are just gear, I guess. Gear is also hidden in all these other files. If you scroll down here, they're also hidden in these. If you want to check if they have the gear in it, look for the header extension JBoy. That means that you can load it up in Reshape, and then just check there and then grab the attire meshes. But we're focusing on the base model right now. We're not going to do the attire just yet, just because we want to make sure that our model actually loads up in game. So I am going to be using the Discord tutorial that is left here. I've only done this once and it worked fine, but then my other attempts haven't. So I'm hoping that if this gets uploaded, that means that this attempt did work. I'm going to be following it line by line and just try to exemplify or explain what the hell you do in each line. So first things first, you make your new Blender file and you are going to bring in all your attire parts. So we're going to go ahead and go to OBJ, and then we're going to just bring in every single part. This is the painstaking process, but trust me, just bring everything in right now. Alright, so here we go. I have all my parts imported, and for now, I'm just going to set the rotation of these all to 0, just so that I can show you exactly what I'm doing. You don't have to do this right now, but I recommend that you do, just so that you know exactly what you're doing and that you follow along accurately. So once you've imported all your objects into Blender, you're just going to grab the X rotation on these, and then you're going to set all these to 0. So now before we even bring in the model, the base model for anything, we're going to go ahead and start joining stuff. So we're going to grab object 1, hold down shift and go to 9. This will be the entire body. And then you're going to right click and then press join. This will bring it into one mesh. And then we also have our 2 eyeballs, 10 and 11. We're going to hold control, select both of those, do the same thing, right click and join. So now we're going to import our 2K22 base model into Blender. So you do that by import WWE 2K22 base model, and then we're going to scroll down and choose base model. This one's going to be Ted DiBiase because they're supposed to both be 6'2". It's fine if they don't align perfectly, like line up perfectly with each other, but you know, it's fine. It's not really going to matter. So now in the tutorial, it says go to skeleton and change the object properties from -90 rotation to 0. And then I'm also going to set this to 0. And then I guess I'm also going to put these back to 90, I guess. I know I just spent all that time like putting it back, but that's what it says in the tutorial. And I'm just trying to follow it as closely and show you exactly how you're supposed to do it. So yeah, they should be lined up like similar to this, I guess. So now we're going to go ahead and transfer weights. Now to do that, you go to object mode up here. We're going to just set up the settings really quick. Go to weight paint. And then click weights, transfer weights, and then go down here to transfer mesh data. And then we're going to click ray radius, and we're going to change it to 5 meters. I think that's what it means. We're going to go for vertex mapping to nearest edge interpolated. And then we're going to go to source layers to by name. And then now we can go back to object, and then we're going to go ahead and check these vertex groups. Just make sure that these line up correctly. So start by selecting object 0, which is the head. Go to weight paint, and then you're going to hold down control, select the head of the 2K22 base model, go to weights, transfer weights, and you're just going to do that over and over again to everything. Make sure that you're doing it with the corresponding thing in the base model. So this is the body. All right, now that we've done that, on each object modifiers, so we're going to go to the wrench down here of each object, press add modifier, go to armature, and then select the skeleton. Armature, skeleton, add modifier, armature, skeleton, add modifier, armature, skeleton, add modifier, armature, skeleton. So now we're going to grab all these objects that we have from our 19 model, then we're going to highlight the 22 skeleton, and then we're going to right click, go to parent, and then press object. So now we're going to go ahead and rename this stuff actually. So object 0 is of course going to be named head, skinned. And then this one's the body, so we're going to name this body, skinned. Then this one are the eyeballs. Now, you can just copy and paste these. Also, don't forget to rename the vertex right here. This one's going to be M, meaning male, underscore, body. Then this one's M underscore head. All right, now that we've got everything renamed, we could go ahead and delete everything from the skeleton, from the 2K22 skeleton. There you go. So now we just have our 19 model right here. And then we're going to grab all these and we're going to drag it into the skeleton right here. And so now these should be named properly. Let me rename this skeleton. Just like that. So now if you grab the rotation of the skeleton and we set it like to, I don't know, -90, now everything should follow just like that. So now we're going to select everything like this with shift. Go to file, export, 2K22 MDL. In this case, I'm actually going to go over here to my games. And I'm going to go to test, characters. I already have his file set up, base model, and then export. All right, so once you've exported your base model, you're going to go ahead and make a new project, and then you're going to import the base model into a new one. So you have your normal base model here, and then we're going to start with the attire. So you're going to, in most of the packs that we have on PWM, you're going to get these other ones. Make sure to look for the JBoy extension, and then export that, and then bring that into reshape, and then export the meshes in reshape, and then bring them in here. You can see I already have my parts in here. I already have them named. If you want to go ahead and wonder what you name each part, you have the underwear, M underscore underwear, shoes, M underscore shoes. The R in wrist represents what side of the body it's on. So this is the right wrist, right knee pad, left wrist, and then left knee pad. and the vertex is supposed to be named like that too, male underscore R, meaning right, underscore wrist. So just like that. So now that we have our attire here with our ported model, now we're going to do the weight transferring again. So grab your weight paint, go to weights, transfer weights, and you're going to set up the settings like this. Make sure the radius is at 5. Vertex mapping, instead of being nearest edge, it's going to be nearest face interpolated. And then, of course, by name. And let me just remove that vertex group. And then now you're going to press here, weight paint, go to the body, and then transfer the weights. And then you're going to want to do this for every single attire part. All right, there you go. I've transferred all of it. You can go ahead and double check by clicking on the attire part, going down here to object data properties, and then making sure that the vertexes are all here. Make sure that you have the body vertex transferred to all of these. And remember, and again, if you only want specific items of clothing on during the entrance, then you put the exclamation point at the end, and that means entrance only. So it will only appear during an entrance. So if you want your character to be wearing a jacket in the entrance, but then not in the ring, you'd want to put the exclamation point there. All right. So now that you have transferred all the weights, now we're going to go ahead and highlight all these by holding Control and selecting them. And then go to the skeleton, and then parent, and then object. There you go. They should all be right here. So now again, we're going to highlight them, and then we're going to go to File, Export, and then you're going to export the MDL. I already have the file set up here, so I just need to come over here, default attire, and then attire MDL, and then export. Now we actually are going to go ahead and set up the files. So in this case, I am replacing Ted DiBiase Sr. So all of my files are going to be relating to Ted DiBiase. You could find the ID in Cake Tools. You could also find it in the chart of the character IDs in the files channel in the PWM Discord. Of course, that is also linked in the description below. So you are only going to need one thing. If you go to the character that you're doing, go to their default attire and then download their attire HPL. We're going to need that. And then other than that, you could start constructing your folder. So I have my folder here, 136 underscore Ted underscore DiBiase underscore 2018. Make sure to match it with the Cake Tools. Click in, we have base model and then 136 underscore default attire. Base model's already set up. I'm not sure if I showed you how to do the MTL. So with the when you have your MDL here, you're going to need to go to Cake Tools, go to Tools, and then press MTL's editor. You're going to open the MTLs, and in base model, you are going to open this, and then you're going to save, and then just name it base model. Make sure to get the spelling correctly. And then you're also going to have to put your attire in the default attire. So I'm just going to click that MDL, open, save, 136 underscore attire. And there you go. Now we got the MTL for everything and the MDL set up. So again, drag your attire into here, your attire MDL file, and then do the MTL thing to it. So now I'm going to show you how to do what to do to the HPL. I already did this, but I'll go ahead and show you how to do it. So with your HPL here in your folders, you are going to go ahead and open the hex editor. Go to File, Open, click on your HPL, select all by Control A, right click, fill selection, make sure it's 0, OK, Control S to save. And now you've cleared your HPL, you could delete this BAK file. Make sure to bring your textures in and everything like that. I'm pretty sure I don't have the textures for all of the other stuff that I added. I think I do. Let me check. All right, and then these are your default attire textures working. Remember, if you haven't set up your file, you could go ahead and just copy everything and make sure to have it spelled correctly with the folders. And then your base model, you put in your body underscore color, your eye color, and then head. Now remember, you are going to need normals, like normal maps, which are also located here in these files too. You could just use those, I guess. But for me, because I'm not actually porting this, and I'm not going to upload it, I'm not going to be using normals, I'm just going to be using the colors. So yeah, once you have your file there, you're basically done. You could come back to Cake Tools, bake a folder, bake whatever folder it was. In this case, for me, it's 8, because this is where I have all my tests. And then you let that run for a bit. And once it's done, you press OK, and then you launch 2K22. So when we load it up in the entrance, it should be his base model and attire. There you go. So now everything here works. Now the eyeballs are a bit weird, you could see. And I'm pretty sure that's because the eyeballs on the base model aren't properly aligned with the skeleton. So if you do run into that problem, that's probably why. But other than that, you could see the model works perfectly fine in game. There's just some shading and tone problems. And that's because we don't have the normal map for the body in. So yeah, if you guys did go on to enjoy this video and you did find this helpful, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more WWE 2K22 tutorials. And just like that, I'm out.